some say they know everything and they're not going to listen all the time.
I don't have clients like that, do you?
Never.
No, not me.
But when they listen, open up those ears and we'll open up the floodgates and either give you a set of keys or a bunch of money. What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of your favorite podcast for real estate.
I'm Rebecca Pesci.
I'm Sammy Lubeck. Did you miss us?
No, probably not. But we're here anyway because we missed doing this. So we're back at it again for another episode of your favorite podcast. And this time we're covering our favorite things about real estate. This is one of my favorite episodes, I think.
Things we love. And for those of you that are wondering where we've been, we've actually been selling houses.
Well, yeah, it's a really crazy busy market here in our local area. Lots of multiple offer situations. Things are moving really quickly. So despite our best laid plans, we haven't been able to come at you for a little while, but we are here now. So
ready to entertain a nation again.
Let's get started.
Okay, so we're going to be talking about things we love about this wonderful industry we call real estate. So, Rebecca, give us one thing you love about real estate.
Number one, top of my list. I didn't even have to think twice about this. My favorite thing, and frankly, how I got into the industry is because I love looking at houses. And I know that sounds cliche and that sounds very basic, but the truth is, I just like seeing the insides of houses, choices people make, and we get to see some really incredible houses. I mean, truly incredible.
Did I tell you about the house I saw this past weekend?
No.
Okay. It was in a gated community.
Like it?
Along the water.
Oh.
It was the only house in the gated community that was right up against the water. It was like on its own peninsula, surrounded by water on 3 different sides of it.
Wow.
Had a ton of different seating areas along the water. It was amazing. I'm not going to give the address away, but if you want to know, reach out to us. Where can they reach out to us, by the way?
Wow, great segue.
I know, it's what I do.
I don't remember how they can reach out to us. forrealestatepodcast@gmail.com. Did I get that right?
Very good. I'm so proud of you.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. Okay.
forrealestatepodcast@gmail.com. If you like what you hear, if you've got some questions for us and insight, that's how you can reach us.
We're all about the segue. What can we say? Yeah, seeing amazing houses, I would agree with her. It really just gives me just that amazing feeling inside knowing when your clients say, hey, I want to go see this house. And then you look it up online and it's like, yes, we go through plenty of cookie cutter houses.
Garbage houses.
Every single week. And hey, you know, if that's what our clients want to see, we're going to show it to them. But when those special properties come up, it gives us a rush for sure.
I would even go further with that, a step further, and say that even when I go on vacation, I'm in other places, I love sort of wandering up to an open house. I vividly remember being on a girls' trip in Charleston, South Carolina, just out for a stroll. And there was a sign for an open house. And I dragged my friends into this, who willingly went. I got to give you guys credit, ladies, for coming along and humoring me. That's how you know a good friend. But what's so cool about that is you get to see super different houses. We really see our sort of typical houses here in this market. But if you go to another part of the country, especially somewhere along a coast or in a different climate, I mean, it was really cool to see and see how much you can get for your money in these other places.
You know, when we got our Arizona licenses, when we went and took the test, the 2 of us went immediately to go check out some houses that had open houses.
I forgot about that.
And we went right to Paradise Valley and we went to see those $7 and $8 million houses. And here we were, you know, it was like our new market. We were ready to attack, get to know some of the other agents that were hosting these open houses. Mm-hmm. But that's what we're all about. And now that you and I both have sold those type of houses, you know, not only does it give us a rush, but we also have that confidence in us that, hey, we've done deals in these houses.
Yeah.
We're going to continue to do that so we can absolutely walk the walk and talk the talk with them.
Yeah, I don't, that part doesn't get old. The looking at the houses part. For me, I know sometimes I have clients who will say like, I don't want to bother you. It's probably not for me, but I just think I should see it. And it's never a chore. It's never a bother. I love looking at all kinds of houses. So if someone asks me if they want to go see something, even if it's a friend who's like, I'm not really a buyer, but I could be, and I want to see that house, I'm like, let's go look at houses. That probably what got most of us into this business in the first place.
Yeah, like I talked about in one of our earlier episodes, the thing that got me into real estate was watching that episode of $1 Million Listing Los Angeles in its infancy stage and seeing these people take their clients to homes like in Malibu. And their ability to, schmooze and just see these mega mansions along the Pacific Ocean. I was like, yeah, I can do that stuff. So seeing these houses, it gives both of us such a rush. For
and
sure.
It makes every day a little different, right? It's never the same job. It's never the same day, never the same client twice. But at the top of that list, things we love, looking at houses. What else you got?
Okay, I got plenty.
What's on your list?
I got plenty. Okay, so this one, I got to admit, in this market especially, I love when my clients listen to me.
Yes.
Especially when they're trying to make an offer on a house that has multiple offers on it.
Preach.
If they listen to me, they're going to be in a little bit better position to get that house. If they don't, if they say, oh, we just, we're going to offer asking price. That's what we're comfortable with. I don't care that there are 6 other offers. Here's what we're willing to do. And then I'll step in and say, okay, but if you want to get this house, here's what you need to do. In other episodes, I've talked about those strategies, but when they listen and they get that house, and when they win that multiple offer situation, not only am I so excited for them because they're getting their dream house, but of course it gives us a little bit more street cred as agents because they listen to us. They're able to say, you know what, you were right. And
love those words.
Everybody's happy. So it just warms my heart when those clients, you can tell that they appreciate the advice that you give them, that we give them, and they end up with a set of keys.
On that note, I love also, speaking of when clients listen, I love being the second agent, especially on a listing, right?
You're the hero.
I love that. I love that. I mean, beyond feeling like the hero, by the time you get to somebody who has not had a great experience for whatever reason, maybe they were the ones who didn't listen the first time. It's not necessarily the agent. Sometimes it's the agent, but sometimes it's the client who just won't listen. So when you come in, or I come in as the second agent, there's literally nowhere to go but up. And they listen. They finally listen as they think to themselves, I'm going to pay attention now because what I was doing before wasn't working. So when clients listen, I think that one's, huge. That one's should have been top of our list. Wasn't the reason we got into the business, but that's probably a very close second to looking at houses because that does just make our jobs easier and it makes it easier on our clients too.
Yeah, being that hero, it obviously feeds our ego and who knows what, like Rebecca said.
Speak for yourself.
It totally feeds our ego. Being a hero?
A little bit feeds the ego.
Really? Come on. You're right there with me on that.
Okay. I'm like maybe right behind you on that.
I don't know.
It's not a judgment. It's not a judgment.
Appreciate it. Yeah. But you never know what's going to happen with that previous agent. The most important thing is they couldn't get the job done. So when we swoop in and give them proper advice, and sometimes it's just a matter of timing, it's not all us, but of course some of our skills and experience are going to help, lead them to the promised land and be able to get to, a closing on either a sale or a purchase.
Most importantly, they listen.
Yeah.
That's it. When clients listen.
Some say they know everything and they're not going to listen all the time.
I don't have clients like that, do you?
Never.
No, not me.
But when they listen, open up those ears and we'll open up the floodgates and either give you a set of keys or a bunch of money.
That's right. All right. I think we've done really well so far with top things we love. Those were easy. Those flew right out.
Why don't we do a cheers? Because we love ourselves some espresso martini.
And I made these today. I just want to point that out. I made these today, and I think I did a pretty good job.
But her ego doesn't need to be stroked at all. Let me have a sip.
Boom. It's good. Come on. Admit it.
She did a real nice job. You guys know that we love going around to different establishments and that making a great espresso martini. But we figured after a while it was good to get back to Shea Rebecca here, just focus, us talking to you guys, and just having a good time. And that's what we do here at For Real Estate.
I was really nervous for a minute you were going to go somewhere with my espresso martini making skills, and
I'll go somewhere right now.
Not physically go somewhere, that you were going somewhere with that conversation. And I'm actually really happy to hear like that maybe you were going to criticize my espresso martini. I did a pretty good job.
You did a really good job. I'm so proud of you, and I will drink every single sip of the espresso martini.
All right, cheers. Let's move on to another thing we love about real estate. But I have an idea of one of the things that I love about real estate.
Okay.
I love negotiating.
Oh, yeah.
I know that'll come as no surprise.
I am shocked to hear that.
It'll come as no surprise to anybody who's listening and knows me, especially you. Ask my husband, my children, ask anybody who knows me. I love negotiating. But I got to tell you, I didn't always.
Okay. What changed it?
I know the exact moment that it changed.
Wow. There was a moment?
There was a moment. And actually, it was before I got into real estate.
Okay.
Ironically. And maybe that's chicken or the egg, right? Why did I get into it? Because of negotiating. I was in a class at Northwestern University. I was pursuing my MBA.
Okay.
And I literally took a class called Negotiations. I fulfilled some credit, I'm sure. And I went in with very little expectations. And previous to that, it's not that I didn't like not a confrontation, but I didn't like that kind of conversation because I felt like I knew how to give some of the give and take, compromise, all the things you learn as a child. And, we share, we compromise. But what I learned in that class really was the game of negotiation and the strategies in negotiation and things like how to make the pie bigger and a win-win and, really and we would break off into groups and we would have a case study and we have to negotiate it. And it was in that class with those case studies, I was like, wow, this is really fun. And it's not because it's adversarial, right? Which I think a lot of people think about when we're in a lot of these deals or you're negotiating a contract. It's not an us against them. It's a collaboration, but it's a negotiation. And that truly was the moment when I realized that is one of my favorite parts about this job.
I hadn't thought about it, and I promise I'm not trying to bond with you right now, but when I got my MBA, I also took a negotiating class.
You did?
That I had not thought of in years. And you just brought me back, and we did the same thing. And for those of you that watch The Office, there's a great episode of Michael Scott going through the different styles of compromise and negotiating. Check it out. Like every episode of The Office, it's great. But I'm proud of you for getting your MBA.
Thank you.
Like I
did. You too.
Thank you. I was stroking my own ego as always. But negotiating is another thing that gives us a rush.
Yeah.
When we obviously look at all the numbers, we analyze all the data out there as far as comps with houses and everything. We take little facts into consideration, like how desperate a seller might be, if they need to get out, if, dare I say, it's a divorce situation and they really need to sell the house. It's using those little pieces of information to make it work for our clients to help them get the best deal possible. Naturally, it's a little tougher in this competitive seller's market to really negotiate. You're finding that, a ton of homes, less than, let's say, $800,000 in the Chicagoland market. Majority of those homes, as long as they're priced right, as long as they're somewhat updated, they're not stuck in the 1970s, those homes are getting multiple offers. But for the luxury homes where, of course, you're going to have a smaller pool of prospective buyers for those multi-million-dollar homes or homes above $1 billion, those you can still have quality negotiations between sellers and buyers. It still comes into play. And that's where we really earn our money, I think.
Yeah, and I think the thing of it that I learned from that class, and even just from doing this job for so long, is that the negotiation is not the scary part. I love when I get to that part because now I feel like I'm really in the driver's seat. Right? A lot of clients think that, especially if you're a buyer, it's all about just finding the right house. And actually, that's such a very small part of it. So much of what we do, and one of the parts that I really love, not to betray the first thing I said I loved, which was looking at houses, but once that part has happened and we make a an offer and it's accepted or we're negotiating to get to an acceptance, that negotiating part is super fun.
Yeah, it's great.
It's a lot of work. It's not to be underestimated. And it's truly, I think, where we get a chance to shine, but it's really, really fun for me and for you.
For me too. Yeah, so those are a handful of things that we really love within the real estate industry. But of course, there are a bunch more. We love everything about real estate, right?
No, we don't. No, we don't. That'll come up in the next podcast, the things we hate. But right now, it's the things we love.
Okay, let's focus on the love, okay? So one of the things that I love, and I'm sure Rebecca loves too, are referrals.
Oh, who doesn't love referrals?
Yeah, so to all of our clients that are watching right now, please tell your friends and family members, we love your referrals. We appreciate it so. No, referrals are the opportunity for us to show our stuff to people you trust. You obviously have fallen in love with your agents like us.
In love.
We've gotten the job done. We found you a great house to buy, or we've sold your old place, okay? And because of that, you figured, hey, why not tell the people that you love about us? So
I love referrals for that reason, but also because there's truly no better form of flattery than when someone thinks we did such a great job that they want us to do that same great job for someone they care about. It's trust, frankly. It's about saying to your friend or your family, hey, listen, I had a really great experience with Sammy. I had a really great experience with Rebecca. And if you want to sell or buy, these are the people you need to go to. So when we get those phone calls, it's an ego stroke, let's be fair, but it really does feel good and warm inside to be like, gosh, if you didn't know it before, if you didn't think those people really were memorable, they remembered the job we did. And so that always feels really good.
Yeah, I mean, anybody can buy or sell a house, but can you provide a positive experience for your clients? And that's what both of us pride ourselves on. So yeah, we love those referrals naturally.
Yeah. And I think one also worth mentioning besides referrals is, I know this is kind of small, maybe.
Go for it.
But I think that one of the things I really enjoy is collaborating with new agents and helping them. I mean, I remember when I was a new agent, I'm sure you remember when you were a new agent. That's really how we met.
Yeah.
One of the ways we were both kind of newer, and it's really, I remember the people who took the time to help me. And so it's not necessarily like paying it forward, but I feel like once you get to this point in your career and you're in a position to offer even the smallest piece of advice to somebody else, that really makes you feel good.
I remember, and I don't remember if you were there, sorry. But early on in my career, going to our office meetings and not having much to say because I was a newbie agent, hadn't done too many deals. And I remember seeing, the experienced agents in the office. Those were the ones that were chiming in with all of their advice, all their stories, all their complaints and everything. And now over the years, shifting into a position where here I am as the trusted advisor, and naturally, as you've seen in our previous episodes, we like sharing ideas for new agents trying to build their biz. And we not only love collaborating with each other naturally here on For Real Estate,
here we are,
but we want to provide advice. And anytime I meet a new agent in my office, after introducing myself, I always say, hey, if you ever have any questions, you want to get some advice on real estate, my office door is always open. And it just kind of makes the collaboration with everybody much easier. And to your point, those agents that trust us, that have experience collaborating with us, they want to do deals with us. Mm-hmm. And in those situations where there are multiple offers and they know that we can bring our clients to the finish line and provide a positive experience, not only for our clients, but everybody involved, vendors, attorneys, both sides of the deal, it definitely puts a feather in our cap and a check mark and makes it more likely that those deals are going to take place between our clients.
Yeah, I do like offering some advice or working with newer agents, but I think it's just collaboration in general. I mean, we get into this business because we like working with people. This is not a transactional business. This is not something where you can sit behind a computer all day, every day and get your job done. That's not how this works.
Definitely not.
So much of what we do is collaborating with our clients, but collaborating with each other and newer agents, seasoned agents. But, when you get to a certain level in your career, I think it differs on the volume that you're doing, of course, but I think we all kind of get to a level where like, I know what I'm doing, you know what you're doing.
Sure.
And it's worth it to collaborate with other people, not just because you might be on the opposite side of a deal from them, but because that's what sort of makes our business go round. And it's one of the reasons that you get into this business is because you're working with other people.
That makes sense.
Did we hit all the highlights?
We hit a lot of stuff, here, as you know, like we talked about before, we do a lot of shows on the road, in different establishments. So I think I just need to remind you that if you know of or work at or even own an establishment that makes an espresso martini half as well as Rebecca does.
That's right.
Please make sure you reach out to us at forrealestatepodcast@gmail.com. And for those of you that are listening on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, or if you're watching on YouTube, please make sure you follow us, rate us, give us that positive review or rating. Do everything you can so we can continue to keep it more real.
In real estate.
Which we love. We've told you that. We love it.
And let's be honest, we're going to keep doing this whether they love us or they don't love us.
Get over it. We're doing it.
We're doing it. We love this. One of the things we love in real estate is making a podcast. So cheers, my friend.
Cheers, my friend.
And for all of you out there, till next time.
See you.
Okay, now let's try that.
Sure you're ready?
Well, I'm sure I hit record this time. That I know for sure. Now,
Ding.
a cheers and a deep breath.
Who's going to say that? Me or you?
You can say it.
Okay. Get your drink.
I don't care. Oops. Don't forget the drink.
She needs her drink.
Don't forget
Always,
the
podcast
drink.
or not.
Don't forget the drink.
Sippy, sippy. Liquid courage. I
did good.
I'm just not confident without the espresso martini.
I did
I lied.
I did good.
She did good.